Thank you for listening to the Good Neighbor Podcast, West Denver. Here's a quick message from our sponsor, Local Works Wheat Ridge, provided by its Executive Director, Paige Piper.
Local Works is a nonprofit organization whose mission is to make Wheat Ridge a more vibrant and sustainable place to live and work. Our mission and action is programming that provides neighborhood revitalization and small business support, keeping and growing the businesses we know and love in Wheat Ridge. In simpler form, we provide connection. Connection to business, connection to community.
This is the Good Neighbor Podcast, the place where local businesses and neighbors come together. Here's your host, Amber Betts.
Hey there, I'm Amber with the Good Neighbor Podcast, West Denver, and today we are excited to be here with Mark of Colorado Trees. Hey Mark, how are you? Thanks for being here.
Good. Thanks for having me on. Thanks. This is a great opportunity. I appreciate it, and looking forward to meeting those people out there in your neighborhoods.
Sounds good. So tell us, Mark, about your business, what you guys offer, what you do.
So we are a locally owned company. We're a small business, one trucker, one truck, one shipper company out of Northwest Arvada, but we service all of Metro Denver. We do full service. We do trimming, kind of regular maintenance kind of stuff, giving your trees haircuts basically, and removals, of course, which for those trees that just got to go. And then treatments as well. So I'm also a qualified supervisor with Department of Agriculture. So we do diagnosis and treatment of trees, and can kind of help get your trees' health right as well.
Awesome. So tell the listeners kind of your backstory, how you got into the business.
Well, I mean, initially I was a rock climber, and I've kind of had some different jobs over my career. One, just kind of being a trip leader in Central and South America, to then coming home to Colorado and being a family man. And I got into the tree industry and just fell in love with it. Shortly after, just kind of decided this was my passion. This is what I wanted to do. I mean, being able to climb and, trimming the trees and just kind of walking away with that gratification of how good they look when we're done is just a good feeling. So it kind of just sparked my passion, and started my company with my 97 Honda Passport and a flatbed, like 5x10 boat trailer that I use for rafting, that I used to be a raft guide as well. And so then but then it became, instead of my raft, I was stacking just branches on top of branches and just putting, covering them up and driving them to the dump. So that's how I started out. And, I studied for, 5-6 months to get my arborist certification. And that's one of the best things I think I've ever done. Just like that education level that you get and the community that you get with being an ISA arborist is great. And so fast forward 8 years later, so we just passed our 8-year anniversary.
Wow.
And things are rolling good. I feel like that we've gotten to a place where we offer a high quality service to people. I mean, I come from a customer service background with working at high-end hotels, service as a server, bartender, and also, as a guide and guiding positions. Anyways, customer service has always been the backbone of everything I've done. So I've tried and translated that into what we do now. So I think we've gotten to the business to a good place where we have just a high customer service level. We do big stuff, small stuff. We've done plenty of crane removals when it's necessary, and just regular maintenance, and if also just kind of maintaining your tree's health. So we're at a great spot. I run a four-man crew, one truck, one chipper, and we get a lot done with that thing and that crew. So I've got extra on-call people that I bring in when we need bigger crews and stuff. But yeah, that's for the most part. I don't know if that.
Yeah.
Anything else on that? I'd be happy to expand.
Yeah. So, I mean, my next question is what, you mentioned customer service. I always ask, why do your customers choose you over somebody else? I mean, I see ads for tree companies all the time.
For sure.
Like you said, you mentioned customer service, but what else sets you apart? What makes you different?
I mean, I think, the way I would see what you're asking is that, why would you go with our company compared to, all the different companies out there? And I think for me, it's because of just the communication that you get. I'm the owner of the company. I'm the one out doing the estimate. I am in the field a good amount of the time, not all the time, because I just can't be as the owner of the business.
Sure.
But for me, it starts from the moment somebody requests service with us. I try to reach out within 24 hours to schedule their assessment, their free assessment. Also, it's always free to look. I always tell people to have us come out anytime. We're not going to charge you to give you an assessment. So it's all, even if you just have questions about your trees that you just kind of, things don't look right, I'm happy to come talk to you about it.
Sure.
And that's that kind of personal interaction and just kind of relationship building that you can get when you're working with a small company compared to a larger company that's going to have a sales guy that comes out that's really trying to get sales. They're based off of commission. And at the end of the day, as a small company, we are based off of referrals. So, I want to provide that flawless experience from the moment that somebody reaches out to us, to the assessment, to talking to them about the work that needs to be done, making sure we're on the same page, sending the crew out, making sure the crew is well versed on what needs to happen, and then just follow up, making sure that everything was done the way it was supposed to. And if it wasn't, which it just happens sometimes, that there's might be something that needs to, there's something extra that needs to be done to make sure that the person is happy, and we're always happy to accommodate when we can.
Sure. That's awesome.
So just beginning to end, I think that, and also the flexibility too. I mean, there's a certain flexibility that we have as a small company to be able to kind of adjust to people's schedules and just kind of make things work.
Love it. So since we're, our podcast is West Denver,
and
we're kind of focused on that part of town, is there anything specific, like something that we need to know about our trees, or something like something that people don't really know?
Yeah, I mean, something I'm seeing recently, actually, I mean, if you're familiar with what a honey locust tree is, it's a pretty common tree. You see honey locusts all over town, all over Metro Denver. And something I'm seeing, in that area, in your area, Wheat Ridge, Highlands, the Highlands of Denver, up to Arvada. I mean, all over the place, I'm seeing locust trees that when you're looking at your locust tree, and if you're looking at it and you've got all these, like, in the outer canopy, it looks like dead tips.
Okay.
That's a pretty common thing that I'm seeing right now. And it seems to be most commonly caused from the honey locust borer. And I'm seeing a lot of borer in these trees, and they're still salvageable. There's a trunk injection that you can do for those trees that within 7 to 10 days, it's all the way out to the leaf tips. So that product is all the way inside the tree, localized in the tree. It's not a spray. That's kind of one of the nice things about a systemic treatment like that. And then it goes all the way out to the leaf tips, and then we'll kill any kind of wood-boring insect that's in there, and then protects that tree for up to 2 years, like 99% effectiveness rate for 2 years.
Wow.
And so it's kind of a 2-part process of killing that borer that's in there so it doesn't continue to damage the honey locust. But then the next step would be to get somebody in there to trim out all that dead, diseased, broken stuff. And then you're left with a new healthy tree again. You buy your tree many more years to come. Locust trees get huge. That's something I'm seeing a lot of. I mean, otherwise, I think most people are pretty well versed on emerald ash borer. Emerald ash borer is still in the vicinity. That's another wood-boring insect that wiped out entire populations of ash trees out in the Midwest.
Okay.
And then was brought to Colorado via firewood. And about 10 years ago or so, it was brought to Boulder, and then has since spread as far south as Arvada. And then last year jumped to Littleton. So Wheat Ridge, Denver Highlands are kind of in between that, but it's kind of a matter of time, I think, before it does show up. So, I mean, really looking at ash trees and locust trees, I think are some of the main things I'm seeing, aside from, just generally getting your trees ready for the winter. I mean, Colorado is famous for like early snows, late snows, when the trees are still leafed out or starting to leaf out. Those are the storms that can really damage your tree. So just trying to set yourself up over the next, few months to avoid breaks like that, I think is a good suggestion.
Yeah. A lot of stuff. I didn't know any of that. So that's great.
Yeah. Okay, good. Awesome. Yep. I'm happy to share it. So, I mean, I'm seeing a lot of it. It's like, it feels like almost an epidemic a little bit with the locust trees.
Okay.
Maybe not as bad as what the emerald ash borer was on, but it's around, and definitely something that's repairable too. So if you hop on it. All
right. So tell the listeners, Mark, news, specials, updates, current things going on with your business.
Last year we partnered up with One Tree Planted, and they're a company that you can $1 for every tree planted. And we've joined efforts with them to support, like last year we planted 500 trees, specifically kind of trying to focus on the burn areas that Colorado has seen. And that's something we're going to do again this year. We're probably up it to 1,000 this year.
Awesome.
So that's, that's something I feel it's something good to be a part of. At one point we were contributing with the Grasslands project to try to offset our carbon, which is a great project as well. I like the fact of just knowing that we are reforesting areas that can use it for sure. So that feels good. Otherwise right now we've got a 10% off discount going on for new bids only. So not past bids that, anything, anything that if somebody agrees to the work that we provide, before September 9th of 2024, we're offering 10% off. Okay. And, I'd be willing to do 10% off to anybody that mentions this podcast as well. And I don't really have an end date on that one at the moment. Let's call it to the end of the year.
Awesome.
Now. But keep your eyes out. We're always kind of running different little specials to kind of, it helps you guys out, helps us out.
Sure. So Mark, I'm sure you stay busy with your business, but what are we doing for fun? You mentioned climbing, but what else keeps you busy outside of work?
Family, mostly family. I've got a 7-year-old and an 11-year-old boy. They both, those kids are they keep us busy for sure with sports. So hanging with my family, my wife, Becky, and my sons, Sailor and Scout. Just spending as much time with them as, so we'll do, that's pretty much my weekends, but we go camping. Took them whitewater rafting this summer. I used to be a whitewater raft guide, so I was able to got out on the boat this year.
Awesome.
We like to travel a lot, so we like to get out of the country anytime we can. That's pretty much that's the most of it. Yeah.
All right.
Sports with the kids. Okay, I love watching my kids play sports.
Okay, well, that kind of wraps it up, Mark. Tell the listeners all the ways to reach you, website, phone number, all that good stuff.
So let's see. ColoradoTreeTrimming.com. ColoradoTreeTrimming.com is our website. Up in the upper right-hand corner is a little button, work request button. If that's probably the easiest way, the best way for us to just get in touch for an assessment, just click on that work request button, fill that out. As soon as you click submit, I'll see the request, and then you just expect me to reach out in the next 24 hours with to set up an assessment, and always free estimates. Otherwise, my phone number is 303-856-4285. You can check us out on Instagram at Colorado Tree Trimming. What else? Those are the best ways, I think, to get a hold of us. We're on Facebook as well. Check out our Facebook.
Perfect. All right, Mark.
Please. So, all right. Yeah, I appreciate it, Amber.
Yeah, thanks so much, and have a good rest of your day. Thanks to the listeners out there.
All right, thanks. You too.
Bye.
Thank you for listening to the Good Neighbor Podcast. To nominate your favorite local businesses to be featured on the show, go to gnpwestdenver.com. That's gnpwestdenver.com or call 720-295-9588.